Hey kids, Robin Robbins here, founder of technologymarketingtoolkit.com. I got a question here I wanted to read you. It's a question I get all the time. This is from a new member. So it's forgivable because they're new, they'll learn. It's a question, like I said, I'm not going to read this member's name, but I get this all the time. And that is, I'll summarize because it's a rather long email, but basically, hey Robin, excited to be enrolled in the program. Looking forward to growing my business. My question is, what's the one thing I need to focus on that's going to get me the best results possible? I'm a small MSP. I don't have a sales team. I don't have a big list. I don't have a lot of money. With COVID, we've seen some attrition in our client base and in our sales. And I don't have a lot of time to invest in this. So what would be the first thing I should work on in implementing out of your toolkit? So and then, here's the thing. It's the wrong question to ask. And I know you don't know this, but the reality is, in business, all opportunity, all growth, anything that has a lot of money attached to it, a big payoff attached to it, has the same level, a big giant Costco-sized bucket of ugly attached to it, right? So it's like, you know what? Running a business is kind of, in a lot of ways, it's like eating a big shit sandwich. And we're all eating it, and there's no getting around it. And, the fastest way is just to eat as quick as you can. I don't know, that might be a bad analogy, but the reality is, again, all opportunity, getting new clients, getting better clients, getting them to pay you more money, building a team and systems and processes in your business so that you don't have to do all the work, so that you can scale the business and grow, knowing how to price your services, making a million decisions. All of this has a lot of ugly attached to it. And if you're just looking for the one thing that you can do, my friend, you're never going to grow. You're never going to get out of being small, because if you want just one thing, then stay really small, don't hire any employees, do all the work yourself, and then you can control everything, and it's really, really simple. And then if you want one thing, just go to every client and ask them for a referral. And when you get that one referral, at some point your play card's going to be full and you won't be able to grow anymore. But that's the only way you're going to keep things as simple as possible and have control. Because the minute you start to grow and the more clients you add, the more complexity you're going to add to your business. Again, there's going to be a lot of ugly, and you can't delegate that and you can't abdicate that. A lot of people try to outsource the ugly part of their business, so they don't like hiring salespeople, so they try to find a telemarketing firm that'll do all their sales calls for them. And that doesn't work out because they end up paying just a ton of money. The calls are abysmal. They're terrible. They're not getting appointments. The appointments they get aren't any good. And then they go through the next one, and then they try something else, and they hire a Facebook expert, or they hire an SEO expert, and they just say, here's a check, bring me customers. That's simple, right? That's what they want. Simple, easy, write a check, it's done. I'm telling you, it never works out. I've been in business for a long time, and I believe me, I understand it. It is difficult. It's painful. There's a lot of complexity. And if you're really going to grow, you're going to grow profitably, there's a lot that you have to take a more sophisticated approach to business, a more nuanced approach. And what happens is, in order to do that, it's complicated. It's very complicated. It's complex. And if you're just trying to simplify everything down to the simplest, easiest way of getting things done, you're not going to get the maximum amount of money, and you're always going to be stalled. So, for example, if you wanted to, one of the key things, if you're going to grow your business, if you want to get the maximum amount of money out of all your efforts, I'll just give you one example. It's like, take inbound leads coming in, right? Now, if you want simple, then what you do is you have a contact form on your website, simple. And when somebody fills it in, the lead gets emailed to you. It doesn't go into a CRM. There's no follow-up. There's no process. There's nothing, right? It's simple, right? That's simple. But if you do that, first of all, there's a really high chance that you're not going to get as many leads, because you want to have lead generation offers and not just one. So you want to have one that maybe they can download information, another one where they can book a consultation, and the contact us. So you need to have multiple doors in, and each one of those requires a different landing page. It requires a different follow-up. You got to have a place where the lead goes. It has to go into a CRM where it is tagged properly, where someone looks at it and says, is this a good lead or not, and tags it that way. And if it is a good lead, there's information that's sent. There's a no-fail follow-up system that's put in place that doesn't just rely on emails, that relies on phone calls and mailing them a package if they're qualified, and working on that lead to get the appointment. And then once you get the appointment, sending the shock and awe so that they're properly prepared, so when you're talking to them, it's easier to sell. And then if they don't respond, or they say, I'm not interested, I was just kind of looking or whatever, do you have them in a CRM system where you can do drip marketing to them? And then in 3 months, 6 months, go back to that lead again and take a second pass at them with some kind of campaign. See, all of that is ugly. It's complicated. It's rife with all kinds of problems. It's going to require an investment in a CRM system, in systems and processes. You're going to have to write the communications. You're going to have to hire people to manage that. I get it. Ugly, 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 painful, complicated. But if you're going to grow your business, you got to make a decision. You're either going to say, I'm going to keep it really small and keep things really simple, because that's the only way you're going to do that, or you're going to just, you know what, take a big bite out of the shit sandwich we all have to take a bite out, which is hiring people and delving into systems and processes and managing people and managing money and watching. I mean, believe me, folks, I understand. I remember years ago watching a guy on stage at an event I was at, and he's out in Arizona. I think he owned about 500 Taco Bell franchises. And I remember him talking about business. And he said, you're better off either owning one Taco Bell franchise or one franchise or 500. And the reason is if you're going to if you want simple, then just have one, because it's small enough where you can still do everything. You can see everybody who's there, make sure the bathrooms are clean, make sure the ordering is done properly, make sure customers are taken care of, make sure there's not water on the floor where someone's going to slip and fall, make sure you have enough inventory, right? The minute you start crossing and trying to grow, where you're having 2 franchises, 3 franchises, 4 franchises, that's when you fall apart. Because when you're growing, but you're small enough, you can still drive to every store. And what you end up doing is making yourself crazy, because you're constantly driving around, trying to keep a handle on everything, trying to pull it all together. And that's what really makes you undone, because you stress out. You're working, more than 24 hours a day, if that's even possible. You're not sleeping. You're not having success, right? He said it's better if you own 500, because then it's impossible. You can't drive around to all of them. You can't deal with it. You look at everything from a metrics, and you look at and you say, well, okay, we had less than 1% cases of food poisoning. That's good. And I know you're laughing at that. You think that I'm not even joking, because then like how many sexual harassment claims do we have? How many people do we have quitting? Which ones have sales down? See, you start looking at your business in acceptable ranges, and you have systems and processes, and you have people that have to be managing that, because it's the only way that you can be sane. So again, the question that I understand, the question of what's the one thing, I think the question's asked more in the spirit of where do I start? But I think if you're going to grow, if you're going to make the maximum amount of money from your business, if you're going to grow something that's worth selling someday, not have this job that you're going to for 10, 20, 30 years, and at the end of that you want to retire, and you find out you don't have enough money to retire, and nobody wants to buy your job because you got a couple clients that might be good, but you don't have any systems, you don't have any processes, you don't have big contracts, you got basically nothing. So it's like a decision that you need to make. And again, that decision it's a whatever it takes kind of decision, where you say, look, I'm going to make the decision that I'm not going to try and constantly look for easy buttons and quick fixes, and I'm going to just dive head in, and I'm going to start this journey, and I'm going to take it one step at a time. And I know there's going to be a lot of complexity and difficulty, but I'm just going to take it one day at a time. And you'd be amazed if every day you work on this, every day you work on being a little more sophisticated, and working on your inbound lead capture process, your sales process, your hiring process. If you just work on being 1% better a day, you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish over 3 years, over 5 years. And I think it was Tony Robbins that said this, but people really grossly overestimate what they're going to accomplish in a month or a quarter, and they grossly underestimate what they can accomplish in a year or 5 years or even a decade. So again, if you want to grow your business, especially right now, I mean, we know the plague is out there and businesses are shutting down and we're in economic trouble. We are doing a road show right now for our members. It's recessionproofyouritbusiness.com. And we are going to be talking about how to take a more sophisticated approach to your business so that you maximize every opportunity. Because when the economy tanks like it's doing right now, and there are fewer leads and there are fewer opportunities and money is parked for a while, you're not just going to go out there and say, well, let's just go get more leads, more leads, more leads. I mean, that's a simple approach. You have to be more sophisticated than that. And you've got to look at actual business development and not only growing the right type of leads and customers, but developing your existing customers, developing every asset you have, maximizing every opportunity that you have, because there's going to be fewer opportunities. And yes, this is a little bit more complicated than saying, okay, here's a simple online marketing campaign, just do this, right? I know that's what you want. But the reality is you got to get over that, because if anyone's selling you that, they're selling you bullshit. You know it is. There's no one quick way to get rich. It takes hard work. It takes determination. However, you also want to make sure that what you're doing is strategic and accurate and correct. And so at our roadshow event, I'm going to be teaching you strategic business development so that you can maximize the opportunities in your business, to get the maximum amount of profits out of your business, and not just get today's harvest, but also plant seeds for future harvest so that you can have more leads, more referrals, more opportunities down the road. And yes, again, it is a more sophisticated, more complicated way of looking at your business, but I'm going to give you even show you how to find hidden money within your existing business right now, where the opportunities are right now, talk about what marketing is working right now and what you want to do more of, and some things that will really, just a few screws tightened here and there, can have a tremendous impact in your business. So if you're struggling right now, if you're worried right now, if you're small, whatever, even if you're a larger business, this will work even better if you're a larger business and established. But make sure you join us at the roadshow. I'll put the link somewhere below this video. And again, right now, more than ever, with the economy where it is, you got to give up on this quick fix mentality. You got to be willing to dig in, do whatever it takes, deal with the ugly in the business, and just bring it on and muddle through it the best you can, with us there cheering you on, giving you direction, giving you blueprints, giving you encouragement, not only through us, but this incredible, tremendous community that we have built of other MSPs. It's one of the things I'm most proud of. So you got to be here at the roadshow with us. Again, I'll put the link somewhere below the video, and I'll look forward to seeing you at the roadshow, and we could talk about how we can be more strategic about maximizing the amount of money coming out of your business. Thanks.